Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I am here today. I just thought I would turn on the camera and film a really quick video about how to make some simple ephemera from magazine pages or book images. I needed to make a small piece of ephemera for this pocket for the journal that I'm working in today. The journal I'm working in is um, my Junk Journal July, my project. It's just a personal journal, just trying to illustrate how I make a journal. So I just was using some stuff, easy stuff that I have around, and made this pretty piece. Today's prompt is botanicals, and I we all have a bunch of this kind of thing. You know, we get magazines that have pretty images. We have these gardening books. I have a bunch of gardening books that have pictures of flowers and other images, and it's just really easy to make something like this. So I really like it and just thought I would make a really fast tutorial. So these are the things that you need. Just essentially a piece of thin paper, like coffee dyed, tea dyed, or just plain white copy paper, and an image. And so you just back that, you trim the image down, and then, that can seem kind of boring, but I'm going to just show you how to just dress it up just a little bit, put a little bit of artistic touch on it, and then that will make it seem not as boring. So I'm just going to put this down. And one really important thing to do is take a hard burnishing tool. I'm just going to use this old debit card, and you want to put plenty of glue on, but you need to get all the air out. Otherwise, it's going to bubble, and you don't want that. It will be hard to journal on at that point. So just burnish it like this until there is no more air. Okay? And then at that point, you can just take some scissors and trim it along the edge. You can do this with a paper trimmer if that's easier. Now, as I say, if you stop here, it'll just be a little bit boring. Not bad, and still useful in a journal, but you can just take an extra step and make it a little bit more special. Oh, let me put the lid on the glue. So first thing I do is round the corners. I just like the corners to be rounded, and what that does is it just makes it seem less cut and more deliberate, like more finished and professional. All right, and then what I'm going to do is have you, where did my little piece of, oh my gosh, I moved it when I'll have to get another little piece. It's all over somewhere. So what you need is just a little piece of steel wool, right? This comes just in a little package from the hardware store, the grocery store. Just pull a little piece off. And on this one, I liked, you can see against the black, I have several of these corner type punches. This one obviously is my favorite. I use it a lot, but I have these others that are also kind of pretty. But just in case you don't have that, I'm going to show you what else you can do. But the second thing you'll notice, I don't know if you can see, but there I have distressed the edges, and in this one I've left it white. Sometimes I'll do vintage and distress with ink, but I'm just going to rough these edges, and it just makes it a little bit worn. So be sure to do it not on your glass because it will scratch, but just come along and kind of rough the edge. And that puts just a little bit of, like if you're using a computer to edit anything, it's this puts that pretty frosted kind of edge on it. Can you see that? I like how that looks, especially in the dark areas. It shows up, and it ages it and just makes it kind of something a little bit more special than just plain, right? Okay, so now that is done, and that could just be really nice in a journal. But the next thing you can do is just take, put out some little book words, right? So it's just you'll see out of this piece right here, the page that this is just gutted book page, nothing that I really want to save, but I use it as like a mop-up paper. But I cut out this little strip. It says "for a moment." It's just there in the text, and I'm just going to put that there. You know, here's another one. It says inspiration. And you can just read your old books to see if you can find some of these words that are pretty. This one was the header of a chapter, and it says another story. That would be nice. But I'm just going to do this one for a moment, I think, because botanicals are so ephemeral, meaning that they go away. Sadly, they die and fade. This is really small. That's okay. Just decide kind of where to put it. I think I'll put it right there. But what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of gesso and make a background. I don't want to make this really involved, and so I don't want to put it on another, you know, I don't want to mount it or anything, make it too much. So I just have a little smear of gesso, and I'm just going to put a smear like that right behind. I always like to start with less rather than have to just smear it off. So that'll add a little touch. And I should hit that with the heat tool to dry it, but I don't want to make that kind of noise. So we'll just hope that I can get this on there without smearing the gesso further. Here's some glue. There. That just puts a little bit of a background for that text, brings it up so that it doesn't get lost. And there you go. Another just really quick ephemeral piece that will fit easily in a pocket. You can journal on the back, and makes just a really nice simple piece of ephemera. So thanks for joining me.